So I'll start with XRP. And yesterday I was looking at this descending triangle, and generally it's a continuation to the breakdown. So target at 30.50. It turned around. The EMAs had to turn around, and you can see it map up, breaking up the 5 and the 15, and it hit the target up here instead. Just recently, 33.54. So now where is it going from here? So if I zoom out, you can see this on the daily. It's on the 4 hour at the moment, but you'll see it on the daily as well. Yeah, you can see the bear channel all the way down. Yeah, and you see this center line in this, and you see this blue triangle, pretty big arc playing out here. Then within that, you got the smaller arc playing out here, and then you got the smaller one again. Yeah, so you can see that there's a rejection of this center line, and it's been touched twice. Now, when we go into this smaller arc here, is you've got skyline here, resistance peak. This is a mountain peak, and we've got a my apologies. No, I'm getting it wrong. This is a skyline, and this is third spike. Yeah. So we've got resistance peak, mid-range high, third spike. So now when we zoom in, is this lift here is for double top, and then we'll have a correction here, which would be first drop, and then I reckon we're heading up for mountain peak within this smaller arc here. So if I put the fibs on it, from the bottom to the top here, is generally mountain peak comes up to around resistance peak level at a max generally. Sometimes it goes a little higher, yeah. So we're looking at a 786 at 38.88. It may fall short at an 05 at 36 and a quarter or so, yeah. So now you can see if it comes to the 05, we're back testing this center line again of the bear channel. If we break above it, again we're breaking above it. Potentially this could be the break above for a back test and potentially a breakup. Now 38.88 seems pretty high, but on this arc, the middle one, where this is skyline and this is mountain peak, this is third drop, and it's coming up for final bounce, final peak, final bounce, or equally this may be third drop already, final peak, final bounce, and it's coming up for its final move. So it's hard to tell sometimes. So we gotta watch what happens here. Yeah. So potentially is, I know we're coming up for a mountain peak. It may hit the center line here, get rejected. It may pop up to this support and resistance line at 37.98, 38 essentially. Is break it, do a back test, and then a break up, or equally. The back test might even be back down onto this trend line here, yeah. Or equally, we will still head for mountain peak. Is we'll have our drop down, and then after that we may just get a small lift and then a drop down. But either way, it's very close. It's very close to a breakout. I know the sentiment is very, very bearish, and we're talking about a breakdown, and I really can't see that it would break down. And a simple way to map that out would be to very, very simply, yeah. It's just take this here, and you pop it about here, and it would naturally bring you to the bottom of the bear channel, which again has been touched a number of times already. It take us down to 21 or so, yeah. Equally is if we break the center line, I think it's simple enough. We're going back to test the top of the channel, yeah. And again, that would bring us up to around 56 or so, yeah. Yeah, you know, it's very the suspense is killing me. Because I can see this bigger arc is this is a very sweet third spike, double top, first drop, heading up for Mountain Peak. Mountain Peak would take us up to around the 60 or so mark, yeah. That fits in very appropriately with that. We get a rejection back down to a third drop, and then we get our testing here, and we get our breakout, yeah. That's one version of it. I could be reading this long because there are really long sideways things going on here. So this could end up being just a very long mid-range high, and we get third spike down here. We get the final drop down here, and it's just a much bigger arc playing out. So I can see both. This is very neatly tied in as it is now, but you know, I can the sideways action in here is very big. The sideways action here, a lot of sideways action. So we just have to play it out. So now let's zoom in a little closer here. And I'm going to look at this space here because we're in a correction at the moment. So now I'm into my channels chart, and you can see my channels and my support and resistance lines. You can see this red channel here. It broke out of the red channel and it back tested. So there's a back test at the moment. It's getting rejected from it at the moment. And it looks like when we put the fibs on, we zoom in and put the fibs on, this is the correction here. Again, XRP likes its 786. So the 786 will be 32.19. But equally is if the lift up is stronger, it could be a weaker correction to the 05 at 32.67. So we got to watch for that. I'm inclined to think it'll go deeper. And the reason being is that if this is a double top coming down for first drop, first drop's not an 05 move. Sometimes, very seldom it is, but vast majority of times is first drop is a deeper move. So I would anticipate a 786 or so, yeah. So that's what I'm looking at the moment. And then when we look at the lift up, from the point of view of support and resistance, you can see, maybe because I've got different things here, I'll make this a bit thicker now. This line that I'm ticking here this is a 4-hour support and resistance line. So when price action breaks back into this, is the lift up is more inclined to be a 4-hour move and go to the next 4-hour support and resistance line up at 37.90. So I think there's a good chance that 37.90 would be a good target here for Mountain Peak. Mountain Peak in this yellow arc here, yeah. Equally, the bigger arc, it would also facilitate the lift, the final lift up for this arc as well, yeah. So let's see what it wants to do, yeah. So that's it for now. There's a bearish divergence on the 1 hour top right hand corner. This is a great indicator for showing divergences, yeah.
Your cheat sheet.
My cheat sheet. it just saves you measuring out divergences all the time. Just pops up. You know, look, there's a divergence. So you can see it here now. When we go to the main candles here, you can see here that the candle here, and then it went higher, where the RSI went higher, and then while price action went higher, the RSI dropped. So setting up a bearish diversion. So again, that's the signal for the correction to be kicking in. If you go to the on the left again, the second one down is just the RSI. So you can see the RSI is topped out, and again, it looks like it's coming down and possibly do a little bit of a spill into the oversold again. Yeah. And then here are the EMAs. So the EMAs, the white one is the 20, the blue one is the 55, and the yellow is the VWAP. So you can see that the white is after crossing over the 55 at the moment. So that's setting up the spill. So I think that the 5 crossing over will give us our correction. Okay, and this, I'm looking at the top left. This is the 5 minute, yeah. So I think this crossing over should give us the correction, yeah. If you go to the top right, is possibly, this is the 15 minute. The 15 minute might cross over a little bit, okay. And again, give us our correction down here, yeah. I'll just put the fibs on it there. Again, there's our correction at the 32.20, yeah. Now, what will give us the pump is if you go to the bottom right, which is the hour here. So this one that's circled in yellow, is you can see that the 20 nearly crossed over, and now it's getting rejected because of the correction. I think what will happen is, and this is what I'll be watching for, is, where's my, we'll have our correction down here, and then if it's going to continue on up, which I believe it will, there'll be a bounce back, and we'll get a W formation, and then when we see the 20 cross over the 55 on the hour, I think we'll get a bigger pump, and that's when we get a bit of action, and give us that lift up, heading up for Mountain Peak. So that's what I'll be watching for today. Yeah. Today, I'm not sure how long this correction is going to take. Possibly later on this evening. Yeah. So that's it. Is, I suppose, one more thing. Here's one of my charts where I map out the spills. Yeah. So now you can see each one of these circles. There's a certain pattern that it follows where it sets up a spill. Where the red ones are the breakups, the white ones are the spill. We're in a white circle. We're in a spill pattern at the moment. Yeah. And you can see the 3 touches to the top here, drop down, always brings a test back to the 20, sometimes the 55, and then a drop down again. And maybe if we're bottoming out here, there's a potential just a potential three touches to the bottom here. A nice corrective pattern, yeah. Possibly. But normally when this breaks down, it does a proper drop. Again, unless we've bottomed out. At some point, it has to bottom out. But this is essentially setting itself up for a spill. So we'll have our correction down here. This is the daily. We have a correction down here. Our Mountain Peak heading back up. Look, 36.60 is back testing that support line, that center line of the channel, the bear channel again. And again, we're definitely going to have our answer here about whether we're going for this bigger spill down, or else we're having our relief rally, and we get our relief rally up first, and then we come back down. Yeah. So anyway, so that's I think that's it. That's it for now. That's everything I have to say. So one very quick recap is my target for this correction is 33.20, and then the long that I'm looking for, my target is around, I'd say around 36. Let's put it on around 36 or so, yeah. But possibly all the way up to 37, 38. And I look to trade up through these channels here, these hourly channels, yeah.
All right, now, good morning, guys. Let's see where we are. I'm gonna start with Ethereum, because Ethereum is is a lot more dynamic in ranges. Ethereum did a 12% lift since the breakdown this weekend. A very nice lift in percentages, and this lift in percentages managed to stop the crossing of the 20 EMA over the 50 EMA on the daily, which would have been quite dramatic in terms of a drop. So that rarely, if we have a look at the past 3 drops, this was a 32% drop when it happened. This one was a 47% when it happened, and the most recent one, that's probably the biggest of them all, a 70%, 70 something percent drop when it happened. So the lift yesterday and today managed to stop that. Now I know that on the way down it's called like the kiss of death when they happen. I don't know, maybe this is the kiss of life if I think of it. So the way I see a price action working these days is it'll come back to test the 20, it'll come back to test the 50, and then it will come back to test the trend line, the previous trend line that was the support or the resistance, and we'll see what happens when it gets there. I believe that both Ethereum and Bitcoin have another leg down to make, and that leg down won't be pretty in terms of targets. So it would be good to watch this final lift up, maybe to take some profits if it's meeting resistance, because the leg down could be as far down as $600, even $400 for Ethereum, according to my TA. But on the daily, where I think we're going to get today and tomorrow. Now, by the way, there will be an FOMC member speech later. It's 4 o'clock UK time. So generally, FOMC days are very volatile, a little bit crazy. So that might throw a spanner in the works for this lift. So we might see a lift, we might see a push down, which is very much in line with the 15-minute arc. So we'll come into a period of volatility. But for Ethereum, again, if you're trading Ethereum, that would be a good time to trade it, because you have a nice range. So just to have a look at where we are today, using the trade setup that we worked on last night. Ethereum is doing a level 1, level 2, level 3 lift at the moment. I anticipated it would go up to 1640, and it's only stopped at 1600. So it hasn't gone up as far as I thought it would. I still believe it might. It might just do a bit of, again, Ethereum doesn't do just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ethereum likes to do step. Once it's started, it's ascend. And if it keeps, now all I want to see here for Ethereum to go up to 1640 is the holding of the 20 on the 1 hour. As long as it holds the 20 on the 1 hour, this is looking great for going up higher. It could do a small, very small retrace, and again, Ethereum does that. XRP has its 786 that it religiously keeps on the way down for corrections, but Ethereum doesn't have such a favorite fib level. Ethereum can do a 382 to backtest the 20, or it can do a 0.5 and backtest the 55. It can do both of them, and still. And it could still look great for going up. That retest here would be very healthy, and it would continue going up. Now, why am I saying this is gonna go up? Because on the daily, we've seen the stochastic turn up, and we've seen the regular RSI turn up as well. It hasn't yet crossed the midline, so this is another thing I'm watching for the general trend to be confirmed. The regular RSI crossing the midline. So the way I see today going is a small retrace to back test the 20 and the 55 on the 1 hour. If those hold, that is another lift up. That is another leg up. That would be a great entry point for a long to 1640, and even higher. The next level would be 1740, but it depends on how it holds this level. I would take profit level by level, because first of all, it's a sustainable way to trade. You know, you have to close those trades sometimes and go to bed without their worry. Second of all, it might turn around. It's very tricky to take profits these days. I always have this here because this is what I practice. Take your profits when you see a double bottom or a double top formation. And yes, I have not lost, left profit on the table, because you don't lose the profit, you leave it on the table. But it's, you know, a trader that gets paid every trade is still a trader that wins. So do follow the trades, and when you're longing and you see a double top formation, for instance here I would take profits and wait for the retrace and get back in if support is being held. Because this is what Ethereum did last night. Like last night, came back, it tested, it held the 1 hour, it held another hour candle above the resistance line. Looks great for another lift. In the 15-minute arc, I had it lower because I thought here, because of all this topping out situation, I thought that this is it. But now it actually came up higher. And I'm gonna move this higher here and for a possible target. But I'll keep you up to date daily, because the levels might change considering where we are and how we are progressing. Yes, so that's what I have for Ethereum. Why do I think it's gonna do a correction? Because the 1 hour RSI and the stochastic RSI are maxed out. So I believe that small correction down to, where was the 55? The 55 was, and the previous resistance was 1522. What's 1522? The pivot point is 1510. So it can go down to 1510, even retest the pivot point and the psychological high, and then bounce off and move up a level higher. And that would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then going up for 5. It's well within its daily ranges. Roy just posted how I use Traders Reality every day, because I'm gonna make references on our daily trade setup, because these levels are really essential to keep. So the pivot point is where the sentiment changes, and it's different every time. So is the psychological high. If a coin breaks the pivot point and the psychological high, and coincidentally they're the same today, if it breaks them downwards, sentiment will change for the down. If it holds them for support, that's very strong support for a lift. But you can just imagine there is liquidity there. They are levels where people put stop losses below and liquidations below. So market makers know that, because they have access to the books and they know where the orders are, and they will turn the market so that they collect that and then head up. So you'll have people that have started longing, they've put their stop losses or their liquidations here, and then the market turns around, catches them out, and then continues upwards. So that's why it's good to note those levels. Now, not XRP, the Bitcoin situation. So Bitcoin, like we've looked at Ethereum, and Ethereum has had such a nice healthy lift. Yesterday, Bitcoin had a tiny one, super small. Let me check the percentage. 5%, so below half of what Ethereum has done, which makes it makes it very it's an enjoyable trading experience, because if you're, for instance, I started shorting here and now I'm a little bit in the red, waiting for the retrace down to this line, the resistance line. But it's again, it's not as acute a red situation as it would be for Ethereum, because Ethereum likes a wider range these days. So Bitcoin is on its way up to the early 21K, 21.2, 21.300, somewhere around here. That would be its next level. Just like Ethereum at the moment, the 1 hour RSI is exhausted and it has a bearish divergence. It's like a slight exaggerated divergence. It sounds paradoxical, a slight exaggerated. Yeah, you see these two peaks here. This one is slightly higher than this one. Let me show you what I mean. The previous one here was slightly higher than this one, even though in price action this peak was higher than this one. So this is this would show a decrease in momentum. So momentum goes down even though prices go up. Momentum goes down, so that means prices are not the rise in prices is not sustainable. We've also seen this this drop in volume, and I'm gonna use only this because this is where the divergence is. So prices are going up, volume is going down, volume divergence. Now it is only on the 1 hour, so I anticipate that this will be a small correction. And again, I am looking to get out of my short. Yesterday it looked much better for the short to come back to base here. It might still do it. But I want to see how it gets back there, because in the meantime, from yesterday, what Bitcoin has done was gain support on the 4 hour, and not only did it gain support on the 4 hour, it also had a nice crossing of the MAs. The 10 came over the 20 on the 4 hour. So right now, Bitcoin is holding the 20, the 5, and the 10 on the 4 hour, and it's probably going to go up and challenge the 50 on the 4 hour, and then even the 200 on the 4 hour. That's where I see it going in this week, in the short run, not the long run, in the short run. So this is where I see it going this week, the next coming 3 days. So we will have to see how this correction happens, because if this correction holds the 20 on the 4 hour, this is looking great for another lift up. And I put the divergence line here. Lee posted it on the Discord, and I'm taking this now just to show you. There's also a falling wedge here, a descending wedge, which might indicate a drop down and then a lift up. We'll see how that is. There's still a leg missing in this wedge before it breaks out, but I'm just watching this divergence line for the possible breakout, because this will probably break. Price action will break it upwards, then back test, and if I'm not out of my short by then, I will get out at the back test, because this is gonna probably go up to at least 22.5, 23 even K. Now I'm stopping because there are planes hovering above. So that's where I believe both Ethereum and Bitcoin are. I'd say for the first half of the day, London, and the first hour or so, even 2 hours, maybe the FOMC will have a say in this. We'll do a retrace, we'll do that correction, we'll do a back test, and then the second half of the day we'll see if that back test holds the support. We're going up. If that back test fails, so if we do break below this line, then of course we're looking at we're looking at the next level down, and the next level down in this is a very juicy one. It will be the level for a double bottom at around 17.5. That would be the next level for Bitcoin. For Ethereum, if this doesn't hold, we're coming down to 1300, the 1290, 1300 level. If this correction doesn't hold its previous support. So that's it. Thank you guys for being here, and I wish you good luck with the trades. And if you're holding Ethereum, have a look at it these days. Keep an eye out, and make sure to take profits on the way up, because we are in a very dodgy situation economically speaking. And this, as much as Ethereum has had a beautiful relief rally, I don't know how much this is sustainable. Like, I'm taking all the relief rallies and the positive bullish news with a pinch of salt these days, because I hear of doom and gloom everywhere in the news. But again, I don't want to be biased. As long as Ethereum regains the 20 on the daily, it's going up. If it doesn't, if it loses that, then we're moving down. We still need to, as Benjamin Cohen says, being technically correct is the only way of being correct. So we still need to pay attention to the TA. What I mean to say is, remember to get paid. Even as an investor, long-term investor, get paid every lift. Super. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.